Exploring our metaverse is kinda awesome, right? Here you can hear from folks who work on the daily to build immersive experiences like this. Get inspired for how customer experiences like these can boost your brand. Let's say hello to Shiren Negahbani, independent digital fashion designer, technologist, artist, and futurist. Through her work, she will be sharing with us all the secrets of immersive experiences in digital fashion.
Hi everyone, I'm Schirin. I'm an independent digital artist and fashion designer, and today I will be speaking about digital fashion and immersive experience in digital fashion, sharing some of my works, experience, and thoughts in the area. Before we get started, I'd like to clarify the terminology of digital fashion, which actually describes clothing that only gets produced and also used digitally. So it does not get produced in the physical world, only in the digital world / metaverse. Here you can see some of my samples of the works that I have been doing over the past couple of years. And from an artistic point of view, in fact, it has actually been liberating to me to work only digitally because I'm no longer bound to the limitations of the physical world. So what you can see in some of my pieces is also an element of motion that I love to use for different types of storytelling or exploring new kinds of aesthetics. And that is something, for example, that has not been possible to me in the physical world to this extent before. This is one of my latest pieces of my latest collection, Whole, which I also exhibited and provided as wearables, which I will explain in a minute, at the recent Metaverse Fashion Week, the first one to ever take place. And it actually took place in Decentraland. Just to give you a bit of background information, Decentraland is a virtual world that is decentralized, as the name suggests. So it runs on the blockchain, but I don't want to go into depth on this topic today. However, if you want to imagine a virtual world, it's a little bit like a computer game where you choose your character or your avatar, and where you can walk around freely to discover anything that has been built in this world, or also to interact with other users, other avatars, to chat or even speak through microphone. The event to me was a great inspiration, actually, which before I had not anticipated it to that extent, but I really found myself, although I have been working in digital worlds for quite a while, getting lost in this digital space, exploring anything around the fashion week, but also other events that take place there, or also interact with other users. And besides, one of the things that were shown at this event was a gallery full of amazing works from other digital artists, fashion brands, regular ones or digital ones. That was one thing that I already found super interesting with any imagery and videos, but also the fact that I was able to provide my pieces as wearables, so clothing or even accessories or footwear for people to put on when they explore this digital world. So here are some examples of people that were wearing my pieces. That was also really, really great experience to me and really inspiring. Also the interaction with people, just the direct feedback and appreciation. That was something that I loved to see. And at the same time, also the topic of digital identity, which is quite strong anyways, or it comes up very quickly when you dive into the metaverse, to see how people would dress in my pieces or any other fashionable pieces really was quite inspiring. In general, whenever you step into the digital world, how you present yourself and what you use to showcase your digital identity is something that is super inspiring to me, and I think also to a lot of other people, because also here you are no longer bound to the physical world. Of course, if you choose to, you can create an avatar that looks similar to your physical self, but you could also go and choose a fantasy character to present yourself. Dolce & Gabbana, for example, showed their fashion show at the Metaverse Fashion Week on animal characters. Most of them were cats, and it was an amazing show. But anything self-expression related really is much more free and gives you a lot of new spaces to think and explore for yourself. Another environment that I want to touch base on today, where fashion and digital fashion comes into play, is actually the phygital space. This terminology actually describes a mix of physical and digital. And just to maybe also show you in real life what it means, I prepared one of my pieces in Snapchat as a lens. So what you see now is my physical self in the physical world, covered in one of my digital pieces on top that follows my body. And this is something that has also been increasingly used for digital fashion because it's a super interesting mix of real and digital worlds. So when you think about the future also, this is something that is actually blows my mind when you just think about the hardware of using augmented or mixed reality, which is the technology mostly used behind these phygital experiences. Right now, we might not be at a stage where augmented reality glasses or even contact lenses are at a point where they can be used on a mainstream level. However, in the future, they definitely will. And besides any other areas like information technology, where they would come in super handy so that you don't need to look up things on your phone anymore, you can directly have the information in an additional layer on top of anything you see. Also for self-expression, this could be something that actually makes physical clothing obsolete to a great extent. So imagine yourself having this hardware equipment. What do we need physical clothing for anymore then? We need it for functionality, yes, to protect ourselves from heat or cold, to provide shelter or just cover your skin. But for anything further, where today we actually overconsume so often, where we have things in our closet that we never wear or maybe have worn just this one time, this is where the digital space and digital fashion really can make a great change. And it's something that I love to think about, that I love to explore with my work, and where I personally think that digital fashion in the future is really headed, and something that also motivates me in my work to actually make digital fashion be something that is used for good. I'd like to close with this thought actually, and I leave my information details here, so if any one of you has any comments or food for thoughts or questions, please do reach out, and thanks very much for the attention.